Hello, I'm Crickets, and welcome back to I Have a Story. I've talked about how life is so tough, difficult for so many people, and I've been sharing my life story, and you're seeing just how difficult my life has been. I've gone through, and so many people, I mean, honestly, the majority of the people that I have met, they feel pain and then take it out in a painful way. Even when I had my advocate and she was going through pain in her life, she's listening to hard, heavy music that is even more painful, which is okay, and you're allowed to do that, and it's not even wrong to do that. You feel pain, get the pain out, feel it. Don't run from it, don't hide from it, but you can't live in it either. There's a total difference. At some point in time, you've got to get yourself out of that. So while I've definitely had my, I talked about in Christmas, my last Christmas with my family, I spent the night driving around by myself listening to Eminem and angry hate music. But you know what? I didn't wake up the next day and turn it back on. I've been really fortunate and blessed in my life to have outlets. And it's part of what this little guy right here does for me. Not only has he been one of my dogs that I've had in my life, the only real, true companion, loyal, obedient. And when they act out, I understand it because they're dogs. When they do something that I don't like or I don't understand, I understand because they're dogs, so I can't hold it against them. Same thing with kids. They don't know any better. They're kids. You can't hold it against them. You teach them. My problem is with the people, especially the adults, because that's not what I see in adults either. I haven't had any adult in my life that has been close to me that I could ever did anything but hurt me. So I'm going to ask, how do you find other outlets? Well, this is one of mine. Not only does my dog give me companionship, but I'll be talking about the story when I was kidnapped, beaten, tortured, so many attempts on my life that if I had had a dog, people wouldn't have been able to sneak up behind me and hit me from behind in a house that they had no business in. If I had a dog, it would have at least alerted me that somebody was coming up behind me and was going to hit me over the head with a blunt object, right? Multiple attempts on my life, and the dog is just gives me the absolute peace of mind that, especially the right dog, if it has the right abilities. I talked about with that dog Minnie, she didn't have it. She didn't give me that comfort. My dog Marley, that was killed, she did have it all the way around. She was the perfect dog. She was a stubborn dog because she's a pit, and pits are stubborn. They have their little things that you're going to have to deal with because they won't stop. But at the same time, I gave it to her because she gave me what I needed, and she protected my children, my family, and she had those instincts. But then, what are other ways we find outlets for? And fortunately, I've been blessed to be in places where I can. And this right here is one of them. This little guy, this is his favorite thing to do right here. And we do this every day. And this stretch right here that I drive, these are tracks in the woods that I drive. This is a 4-mile stretch. Every day he loves it. And we just got a fresh snow, and look how beautiful this is. I can drive around and there's lakes on my path and all sorts of beautiful things to see. This is where I get freedom from my pain. I go out and find ways to free my mind and find peace and to be at ease. I go out here and drive these trails and watch my dog run, and unfortunately I didn't get any of it on video, but he bounces like a rabbit. He is an absolutely amazing little guy. But he bounces like a rabbit, and it's so fun to watch him. But I can go out here and just be at peace and look at beauty and turn the radio off and just relax and go into a state of mind that's just peaceful. When I was a late teen talking about how my childhood was my parents. I used to go sit in an archway of a church because I felt peace there. About 8 years ago, living in Sylvania, Ohio, there was a church that had a beautiful garden and a bench, and there was never anybody there. Part of why I can say I don't think enough people are out there trying to find positive outlets. People turn to drugs, alcohol, food, cigarettes, which is still a drug. Food today is a drug. And I was watching some more videos this morning about food. Wow. I'm scared to step foot in a grocery store anymore because what is in our grocery store, it's unbelievable. And we wonder what's wrong with so many people today. We've drugged them and messed them all up, and we don't give them enough outlets to go out and find positivity. So I ask, what do you do to find positivity when you're hurting? Or do you just feel the pain and then move on with life and try to brush it underneath the rug and move on to the next cycle in your mind that's going to possibly be difficult? Well, this is one of my ways, and I thought I'd share it with you today. It's one of the daily things I do, and this little guy, if I don't take him, he runs back and forth to the car to the door, pokes me in my leg with his nose. Come on, let's go run. It's time to go run. That's all he wants to do. He just loves it, and I like giving it to him. And I don't know if I talked about this in any of my videos. When I first got this dog, he was really shaky, and I thought he had an anxiety problem. Come to find out, I learned now that after doing this and spend more time, again, I talked about my video about the elderly. I've talked so much about children. Let's talk a little more about dogs and their mentality. Do people really pay attention, or now we've just become a world where there's got to be a drug we give our dog to? The whole world is just, God, it's unbelievable. We don't deal with anything anymore. There's a band-aid for everything. So when I started taking this dog running, he quit shaking. Come to find out, no, this dog is just so full of energy and wound up. He's a natural small game hunting dog, and he is actually professionally trained to be one. One of he's hands down the most obedient dog I've ever had. All I gotta do is say his name, and he is right next to my feet, smiling, wagging his tail. So, I found that his shaking, and it wasn't an anxiety. It was, he's full of energy and needs to go run. So that's part of why I do it every day. I'm gonna ask people, please pay attention more to not even just the elderly and your children, but even your animals. Don't need to shove a pill down a dog's throat for everything they do and go through in life like we've been trained to do to ourselves. And we learn that the easy way out is always the worst way out. And we were taught all this stuff so long ago, and it's like it's just gotten reversed on us, and I see it just reversed in the world. Pay attention. Try different things. I did know this little guy loves me for it. Think how much more love we'd have in the world if we went back to thinking like that.